The chair recognizes the honourable member for Central Grand Bahama.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy. And good afternoon to this House, my colleagues, and the Bahamas, and those watching, particularly fight the mosquito here. The good residents of Central Grand Bahama. Mr. Deputy, as I rise to make my contribution to the mid-year budget, I want to begin by thanking the mid-year budget. Mid-year. No, I'm wide awake. Thank the great residents of Central Grand Bahama for their continued support and, of course, encouragement. I am forever grateful to represent them in this honored House. It is my number one goal to ensure that their best interests are always at the forefront. They, like many of us, are hardworking citizens who are simply seeking a happy and fulfilled life. Mr. Deputy, before I fully turn my attention to the budget debate, I want to address some concerns I have regarding my island of Grand Bahama and the significant need to have these matters addressed immediately. Mr. Deputy, there's an issue with the boating community in Grand Bahama. They've been begging for a ramp now in certain areas for years. And applications have been made, and presently we are continuously getting pushbacks from DEP over some issues that I consider to be minor, in my opinion. I raised the matter with the minister. I reached out to DEP, asked him to simply do a site test, do a site inspection, because what they are referring to with respect to the ramp being constructed is totally, in my view, irrelevant. There aren't any mangroves to be uprooted. There aren't any buttonwood trees or any sea oaks to be removed. We are not dredging into the seabed. We're simply carving into a small rocky shoreline to allow the boaters to slide their boat into the waters in the area west of Lizzie's by the Bay and Hunters. We have designed a fish cleaning station to complement this boat ramp, and the frustration of the boating community and residents at large is just increasing. They want to start a fish fry in the area to generate funds in the economy, and because of the pushback, the not having the ability to build this boat ramp that I've been pushing for, it is holding them at bay. I thank the Minister for Golden Isles, the Minister for the Environment and the member for Golden Isles, who advised that he will instruct his team to do a site visit, do a site inspection, and perhaps other government officials can accompany me and the team to show them exactly what it is. Because, Mr. Deputy, as I travel around, this weekend I visited one of the family islands where a private development is going on. And the amount of excavation in the seabed and along the coastal line that is being done, I don't see any permits being posted. It is just a tragedy. There's no oversight, or very limited oversight. And this is being done in a macro, way. And to stop a boat ramp, a simple excavation into a shoreline to allow boaters to access and take their boat out of the water, I believe we really need to deal with that matter. And while I see the Minister of Works is not here, the former Minister of Works is here, and a matter that I've raised again with respect to my community, my island of Grand Bahama, and I hope it's being looked at. One of the best infrastructure that we have on the island, the Smiths Point seawall, is holding up right now. It's a defense wall, and I've raised the issue at one point that the casuarina trees were growing and it's going to disturb and perhaps damage the seawall. And thankfully, the then minister put a team into action, and those trees are gone. However, the security railing at the top, it is heavily corroded. The rust stain is showing when you go to fish fry, driving along Smiths Point Wall, you can see the whole wall that used to be, I guess, white or gray is now all brown from the staining, from the iron that is seeping from the sea railing. So if we don't take those railings out in portions, steel bursting down and paint them, we're going to run into a bill that is going to be close to $1 million. So we need, not only that, we're going to compromise the safety of those persons using the Smiths Point seawall area for various activities. Additionally, while the member from Marco City is here in this constituency, under my portfolio, Shadow Minister of Sports, this Jack Hayward Senior High School gym, basketball gymnasium, the floor in the basketball court has been unplayable for years now. And I raised this matter in here, and I'm hoping that the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture and his team in Grand Bahama will look into this matter and have that floor repaired as soon as possible, as well as the lighting in the St. George's Gymnasium, which is in central Grand Bahama. Because we also, like the Minister indicated this morning, want to have our version of the Father Martian Peters basketball tournament in Grand Bahama. But having Jim and Maroc is good. So St. George's is up and coming, need lighting. And if Jack Hayward goes online, then of course, we'll have all of the facilities in Grand Bahama up and running. Particularly sports and education, yes, exactly. My hometown in Waterkey, again, the dock. We don't need a Rolls Royce of a dock. We don't need a 1,000 feet long dock. We just need to have a dock where we can land, take off our construction material. We want to rebuild our community, rebuild the church. But it's been difficult. If we can only get a 75, 100 feet floating dock just to be able to land our goods and get them on the island for reconstruction, that would be of major benefit. So we're asking the Minister of Works and also the Minister of Grand Bahama to look into this and see how we can help us to rebuild our community. Mr. Deputy, with respect to my other shadow ministry, health, thank God that the crime situation in Grand Bahama is not so bad, but we had one of the biggest fights in Grand Bahama last week, and it was all over social media, where a rat tried to get into the lobby of the Randall Memorial Hospital. And there was a big fight going on with persons in there, staff and patients, trying to get the rat out. They did a good job. And again, these are photos of them in the lobby, fighting the rat, trying to get the rat out of the hospital. Where did that come from? In the back area near the morgue, there's a lot of waste piled up. A lot of waste that has not been collected. Yes, I will table these for months. As a result of that, you have pests, you have rodents in the area, and they've now wandered into the hospital. This is at the Rhino, is it Pine Ridge? At the Rand Hospital, I believe it's Pine Ridge. But anyway, it is in Grand Bahama. We complain about the Rand, but that's the best we have. That's all we have as a public facility. So we need to take care of it. You know, last week it was very disheartening to see. And we have pictures of all of the trash biohazard waste sitting at the ramp. At the ramp that needs to be collected and disposed of immediately. Because as you can see now, this is now causing a problem inside of the hospital. I mean, rats carry plenty disease. Mr. Deputy, Grand Bahamians have been crying for years for a boost to their economic growth and job opportunities. But all we've been given are photo ops and empty words. With no long-term sustainability, we will know when will we get our break. Mr. Deputy, we have serious concerns regarding infrastructure that I just spoke to, the environment that I just spoke to, and the ongoing recovery of homes 5 years after Hurricane Dorian's devastation. Many residents continue to face challenges in rebuilding their homes. The slow pace of recovery, Mr. Deputy, has led to them feeling isolated and in some instances forgotten. Mr. Deputy, we have a major crisis on our hands, and I suspect that economic challenges will only get worse. While we have made strides in our recovery, we are now confronted with external factors that demands our urgent attention. Mr. Deputy and colleagues, the recent tariffs on Canada, China, and Mexico imposed by the U.S. is creating significant headwinds and will create more significant headwinds for our economy. Yesterday, I saw on mainstream news where the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and other leaders world leaders issued stern warnings to the U.S. regarding potential retaliatory measures that could have further affect the Bahamas. You put tax on us, we can put tax on you. We are caught in the middle. We are going to suffer as a result if we do not act and act fast. It's similar to the fact that we are on the front line of the hurricane war. We didn't start it. These big countries, with all of their carbon emissions creating hurricanes, and we are suffering as a result. That's natural. But with respect to the tariffs being imposed now by the U.S., we are again in danger. Moreover, we stand, Mr. Deputy, on the brink of borrowing $300 million. I must ask, what is the clear plan to ensure this investment boosts our economy and protect us from the fallouts that I've just mentioned? This is not a time for complacency. It is a time for decisive action. We must chart a course that strengthens our resilience, diversifies our economy, and empowers every Bahamian to contribute to our collective success. Mr. Deputy, we must take a serious stand on addressing food security, something that I've often mentioned in this place. I thought we were headed in the right direction. This new government came in and promised more opportunities for farmers, more chickens and eggs, the golden yolk. Yet, here we are, still importing foods that we should be getting from our farmers and from our own backyard and community gardens. Our heavy reliance on imported foods, up to 90% of what we consume, continues to leave us exposed to price volatility and supply chain disruptions. Mr. Deputy, we saw firsthand during the pandemic how quickly supply chains can be disrupted, leading to empty shelves and rising prices. We saw it before. We didn't act. It's coming back around now. I cannot stress enough how much this pending tariff war will impact the everyday person. I urge this government to provide immediate support for local farmers and fishermen, and if you're doing it, let's step it up. We should be creating incentives for agricultural innovations. It is always a pleasure for me to share the news of the work we are doing in our backyard farming. It's catching on in Grand Bahama. You know, the Central Grand Bahama Farmers Market is now going into its 5th year. And this coming Saturday again at the Royal Oasis ground. Thank God that didn't burn down like the rest of the areas in the bazaar this week. This Saturday, at 9 o'clock, from 9 until 4, once again, we'll be at the Royal Oasis ground having the Central Grand Bahama Farmers Market. And it's now a farmers market festival, where not only farm produce are sold, but you can sell your craft work and other goods just to raise funds to put food on the table, put money in your pocket. This community-centered initiative is now entering again, like I said, in its 5th year, and it's growing. There's a real interest in Bahamians wanting to eat healthier and have access to fresh produce. So it's good to see we're lowering it a bit on unprepared food. Let's do more. Let's see how we can get it down to 0. Mr. Deputy, we know there's more interest, and people want to get involved, but they need the support of the government and others to reach their goals. Imagine the Bahamas where backyard gardens are the norm, contributing both to food security and our own personal well-being. Implementing policies that promote sustainable agriculture is paramount. We must invest in research and development to improve agricultural productivity and resilience. A national food reserve system, Mr. Deputy, could mitigate supply chain disruption and provide a safety net during crisis. I say that again. A national food reserve system could mitigate supply chain disruption and provide a safety net during crises like we are facing now that will be intensified in the months to come. I truly believe we need to prioritize this, and we need to do it immediately. We must engage in diplomatic efforts to lessen the effects of the tariffs on our tourism sector and our import bills. This involves not only conversations with the U.S., but also strengthening our ties with Canada, Mexico, and our Caribbean neighbors. Establishing favorable trade agreements that prioritize Bahamian interests will promote exports and ensure that we are not left at the mercy of foreign markets. By strengthening these partnerships, we can create a buffer against these economic shocks, a buffer for now, and with the intention of having permanent solutions as a sovereign nation. Mr. Deputy, I also believe our over-reliance on tourism limits our growth potential. We need to actively explore and invest in new sectors such as was mentioned earlier, renewable energy, technology, and agriculture. I'll continue to beat that horse. Agriculture and fisheries. This is not just about survival, it is about thriving as a nation. Countries that have diversified their economies have shown resilience during global crises. Additionally, let's consider promoting domestic tourism initiatives to stimulate local demand, encourage Bahamians to explore our islands, and support local businesses. We have to find a way to lower the price to allow Bahamians to visit them. Look, I've traveled all over the world, and as I travel through the islands of the Bahamas, the most beautiful islands, the most beautiful spaces you can imagine, but we cannot afford to go. We cannot afford to visit. Let's find a way to lessen the burden of domestic tourism. Keep the money. Keep the money in the Bahamas. Yeah, we learn every day. When you stop learning, it's time to go in the grave. We learn every day. And I learn, as we go, we learn every day. Like God's mercies renewed every day. New mercies I see, every day give us new ideas and a fresh start. Tourism is the backbone of our economy, accounting for over 60% of our GDP. However, its vulnerability to global economic shocks and geopolitical tensions that we are seeing now can also be our kryptonite. Mr. Deputy, we are concerned that the U.S. tariffs may deter tourist arrival from affected countries. If we fail to diversify our economic base, we risk severe repercussions when tourism falters. We need to invest strategically in emerging sectors. Mr. Deputy, we have a lot naturally that we can use. Solar, wind, which can create jobs and reduce our dependence on imported fossil fuel. Additionally, developing a national export strategy will help promote Bahamian goods and services in international markets, and we do have the talent to do it. Mr. Deputy, expanding social safety net is essential to protect vulnerable populations. We must provide skill training and entrepreneurship development, and I'm happy that we're now bringing the BTVI bill, which would empower and help us to train our people and get them ready for the job market. By promoting financial literacy and improving access to credit, we can facilitate small business growth. And this is something that we did, enabling our citizens to participate fully in the economy. I also believe we need to support the development of local manufacturing and service sectors. This not only reduces dependency on imports, but also creates jobs for Bahamians. Mr. Deputy, fostering a culture of innovation is vital. Through education and training programs, we can cultivate a new generation of entrepreneurs. Providing access to capitals and mentorship for aspiring business owners will be crucial. We must also create a supportive regulatory environment that allows small businesses to thrive, ensuring that they can contribute significantly to our economy. The small mom and pops, they keep the economy driving. We have to support them. Mr. Deputy, before I take my seat, I want to quickly touch on the words from the side opposite and from the member of Cat Island. Mr. Deputy said that we are building a new era of opportunity and change. But who is this for? We see a lot of change in Exome and Cat Island. I want to see some of those changes in Grand Bahama. Mr. Deputy, the member for Cat Island also said the high cost of living remains one of our country's greatest challenges. I agree with him on that. We knew this already. We knew this because they told the Bahamian people that they will fix it, and nearly 5 years later, nothing has changed. The only thing I believe has changed is the number of stamps in certain people's passport.
My Lord, my Lord.
The administration Outrageous travel spending, however, shows that they are not aligned with the needs of the Bahamian public. $58 million in nearly 4 years is excessive. Numbers don't lie. $58 million in nearly 4 years is excessive. They're traveling from one end of the globe to the other with no sign of stopping. The government travel expenditure is just a picture of shame. The math is not mathing. I've said it before. This New Day government is continuing their world tour. Millions from the public purse are being spent to gallivant across the world. Can you imagine if that money actually went towards addressing the many challenges we face throughout the country? People crying every day. We want food stamps. We need money to help pay our bills. We need... No matter, and to make matters worse, Mr. Deputy, this administration is not compliant with the Bahamian people in submitting their public disclosures report. Have you all submitted? I believe the entire side over here have submitted. Do it every year on time. They are completely disregarding the duty of accountability to the public. According to the Public Disclosure Commission, several senators, it was stated, and public officials have failed to comply with within these past 4 years. That they're asking the Bahamian people to give them another $300 million without having the proper accountability and transparency procedures in place. Mr. Deputy, when the former government, and they hate to hear this, when the former government left office, the New Day administration inherited, and this is a fact, an economy on the uptick. Yes. They were gifted with an economy on the rebound. Yes. The FNM administration took the country from a decade of no growth to a consecutive period of economic growth prior to Hurricane Dorian and the pandemic. Facts are stubborn. Facts are very stubborn. Facts are stubborn. We ensured there was a strong pipeline of inward investment to fuel sustained economic growth. Truth. Facts. Once the country was hit by the historic... Mr. Deputy, I need protection. Mr. Deputy?
Order, members.
Yeah, 27 that's what you want.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy. We ensured there was a strong pipeline of inward investment to fuel sustained economic growth. Once the country was hit by the historic storm and global health crises, we moved to implement several initiatives to maintain the fiscal gains we had achieved over the previous years. They met the cupboard stock. Thanks to our vigilance and fiscal policies, we were at a global inflation rate of approximately 20%. The Treasury was in good shape. They came in with a plan, they said. But their blueprint for change was nothing more than a blueprint for chaos and confusion. Mr. Deputy, with this line of borrowing, some $300 million, we must create a transparent framework that outlines clear economic benefits and safeguards for our citizens. Mr. Deputy, I'll repeat it. With this line of borrowing, some $300 million, we must create a transparent framework that outlines clear economic benefits and safeguards for our citizens. Accountability is key to ensuring that these funds are used effectively. Let's get back to government in the sunshine. I want to alert the Bahamian people, Bahamian public, not to be worried much longer. Like East Grandmama said, don't worry. Time is longer than rope. Mr. Deputy, colleagues, and the Bahamas, the sun is setting.
Our member needs protection from this back bench. You know.
Go ahead, Central.
The amen call in the back here, they're trying to be disruptive, but that's okay. Mr. Deputy, the sun...
I get your back.
Yeah, but not to put a knife in it.
Sit down. I get your back.
Mr. Deputy,
Order,
Mr.
members.
Deputy,
You want to say where the bottom?
I will say it again, I will say it loudly.
Let's go down.
They don't want to hear this, but it's a fact.
No originality.
Mr. Deputy, the sun is setting on this new day.
Yes, it is.
And the dawn of a good day and a better day coming under the FNM administration.
Praise to God.
The New Day government wants to rely on you having short memories. But we are here to end this god-awful Groundhog Day we have been in for the past 4 years. Mr. Deputy, as I always say, governments are continuous. The challenges we face are significant, but so are the opportunities. By embracing diversification, investing in our people, and fostering resilience, we can navigate these economic headwinds and build a stronger, more prosperous Bahamas for all. Let us unite in our efforts to empower every Bahamian to contribute to our shared success. Together, we can create a Bahamas that not only survives, but thrives. A nation that stands independently and confidently on the global stage. Mr. Deputy, as I observe the sun setting on this new day, government, I want to tell the people that keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Time is longer than rope. So no matter the time, they will have the help and hope, the help that they need.
Yes, sir.
Central Grand Bahama. Yes, we support, of course. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member.